Hello guys, my name is Joshua and today I'll be showing you how to create and configure a DHCP server in Cisco Packet Tracer. So let's get right into it. I'll also be showing you a few commands that you'll be able to use in real life. So let's get started. So first of all, open your Cisco Packet Tracer. I'm going to add a router which will be acting as our gateway, and then 2 switches. So holding control, I add 2 switches, and then I'm going to add PCs. So add 2 PCs each, and then I want to add a server as well. So now I want to connect them automatically. So with this tool, I could use I could choose the cables individually, but I want to do this fast, so I'm going to use the automatic connection type. So holding control, click on the PC and connect, and connect, and also connect our switches. Alright, so now every connection is in, so let's pass through, power through. Okay, so now we are done connecting, and now we have PC0, PC1, PC2 and all that. Okay, so now it's time to configure our DHCP server. At the moment, neither of our PCs have an IP address. We can check that by entering ipconfig in the command prompt, and we can see that there is no IP address or subnet mask or default gateway configured on the system. So to configure it, we open our DHCP server, or our server which will be acting as our DHCP. I like to turn off the web services, but you can keep them on. So now we enter DHCP, and then you can also create a new one, or I want to maintain the default one, so we can keep it there. So now to configure our default gateway, I have an IP address already configured. I chose an IP address, so which is this, and now I'll be adding in the start IP address. So we can start with 248 and 110, and I like my computers to be, the PCs or the hosts, to start their IP addresses from 11. So from 11, and now since this is a type C IP address, we can have 255 and that's 0, and you can leave this number as default, as in the maximum number of users. You can leave it as this, but I like to make it 20 or choose a precise number, so I choose 20. And so you can save that. Okay, double check and see if everything is correct. All right, and you can turn it on. Now it's on, but it's not actually working. So before we leave our server, we also have to configure an IP address for our server. So here we want to leave this on static. So I'm going to give our server an IP address of 248.110.2, right, which will act as our DHCP server. The .1 will be our gateway, which is our router. Okay, so you can also put it here as that's being the default gateway. So this is the DHCP server's IP address, and this is our default gateway. All right, so now we are done with the server. So let's configure our default gateway. So we can see that it's connected to the interface gig 0/0/0. So we get to config and we choose that interface, and now we add in the IP address, and then we turn it on. And now we've turned it on. Now our connection is live. It's no longer red, it's up. So now we have to make sure that we can now implement our IP addresses on our computers now. So we click on your computer, and the first way I'm going to teach you is the Packet Tracer way, but I'm going to later on, the next one, I'm going to show you how to do it to get your DHCP server in using command prompt. So we can click on DHCP, and you see that request was successful, and you can see the IP address starts from 11. This being the first PC, the IP address is 11, as you can see. So now in the next PC, you can see here, you can come to here, and then to configure the IP address using the DHCP server, which means to request an IP address on the DHCP server, you can come here. Let's just make sure, or let us see that our PC doesn't have any IP addresses at the moment. We don't have any IP address. So now you can type in ipconfig/renew, and this command will send a request to our DHCP server, and the DHCP server will provide us an IP address. So now we request, and now we can see that we have been given an IP address. If we type, this is the same thing. If we type ipconfig again, we can see our IP address here and the default gateway as well. You can do this in real life, whatever. You just go to command prompt and then type ipconfig/renew. And the PC will automatically will request an IP address. Alright, so now everything is connected, and it will still work the same way if we added another switch and added another PC, or was provided it's still on the same local area network. Once you request a DHCP IP address, you request an IP address from the DHCP server, you will be provided with the IP address, and it also has to be in the same range, the 20 limit we gave, the maximum number of computers, so the maximum number of hosts. So if you give a higher number, you can always add more PCs to it. Alright, so now let's check our connections. Let's test and see if we can ping each other. And we are going to use the ping tool, of course. So let's ping our gateway. So that is 200.48.110.1. This is our router. This is the IP address to our router, the gateway. And when we ping that, we get replies. Nice replies. Awesome. And we can also come here and let's ping another PC. Let's ping 13, and let's enter simulation mode for this one to see the pinging in action. So when I click enter here, we can see we have an ICMP request, an ICMP ping, and then our app request. So first off, our app message will go, and the switch will flood to find the MAC address of the system we are trying to ping. And so when the system finds and sees that it has the IP address, it will add its MAC address to reply to the PC that sent it. And now it goes back to the switch, and now the PC now knows the MAC address of the machine or the computer it's trying to connect to or communicate with. So now it adds that destination MAC address into its ICMP message or ping, and now it sends the ICMP message, and now the switch knows where it is, where that destination MAC address is. So now it keeps it added it to its table, and now it's going to forward it. Now it's not going to flood it. Now it's a unicast frame, so now it's going to go through directly to it, and now the system will reply back to our PC, and then we can see that we have our first ping reply, which is here. So this is our first ping reply, and it works the same way. The more I do this, the more we'll get replies. Alright, so that is all. Catch you guys in the next one. Have a nice day.